Guess I'll credit. You know, what's wrong when the famous person's books? I don't know.
I can. Yeah, I can make it candy.
Okay. Now, Tov, we're going to be learning tonight from Sefer Derech HaMelech, Parshat Vayigash. It's the first piece in Vayigash. Photocopies are missing. First paragraph. But you'll hear it from me. This is a drasha the Rebbe gave in 1929. And well, it's probably 1928. It was Vayigash. Because Rosh Hashanah comes before January 1st. It's okay, I'm not a mathematician either. This Torah I would like us to learn this week and next week, and it'll take us by the end of it into some preparation for Hanukkah. These are the parashiyot that are always happening time of year. Hanukkah is coming up. So the Rebbe starts with a pasuk from the opening of the parsha where Yehuda is approaching Yosef. Vayigash elav Yehuda. Yehuda approaches him to him. Vayomar bi Adoni yidaber na abdecha chule ki kamocha kefar. Oh, Yehuda basically says, Master, let your servant please speak before you. And he says a whole bunch of other things, and then he quotes the end of this statement. You're like Paro. We'll get to the pasuk in another week, so just know where we begin. So Rabbi starts, Ita b'sifrei Talmidei Baal Shem Tov Zal. It says in the books of the students of the Baal Shem Tov, in the books of Chassidut, Al hapasuk mi ya'aleh bar Hashem u'mi yakum bimkom kodsho. Who shall ascend Hashem's mountain, and who can stand in God's holy place? Mi ya'aleh bar Hashem, mi yakum bimkom kodsho. Asher lichora tema kef al halashon mi ya'aleh u'mi yakum lama li. It's a bit puzzling. Why repeat who's going to go up and who can stand? Who can go up to God's mountain? Who can stand in God's holy place? Sounds like it's not really adding anything. Al pi pashut ki im lo ya'aleh b'vaday lo yakum. Even simply stated, if you can't go up the mountain, you certainly can't stand there. V'omrim b'kodsham. So they, our Rebbe, say, in their holiness, come, there's a book waiting for you. What's your name? Israel. Ami. Welcome. We're down here. You read Hebrew? You can read it. Okay, we're down here. ואומרים קודשם שיש מי שמתלהב לפעמים ונוכל אחר כך לנמיכותו. Such a thing as a person who has times where they are mitlahev. Literally means they become fire. They get turned on, they get fired up. But then right afterwards, they fall back to their low place. Below die, I see some nods. Saw some nods. You know, there's sometimes person can get really, really turned on, really excited, really aroused in a holy way, and then you find yourself right afterwards just like low. It's not just that you stop being in that heightened state, but in every single way, you're the same rotten old me that I was before. Ish namuch v'garua. Small and garua. Like kind of the way I know myself. Just like I was beforehand. Right? What happens to us when we have these amazing moments of inspiration, and then could be, so the Rebbe's not even talking now when it's in the middle of that moment of inspiration when you find yourself back where you were right before. But we end up just the same. Right? We end up the next moment, the next day, the next morning, the next week, we find ourselves right back in the same old place. Like, it's like, what was that about? You know, like. So Rebbe goes on. It's possible that after you find yourself back in the same place, it can take you to a place that was even worse than you were before you ascended. Like a person who climbs up to a high place. When you fall from a high place, it can hurt even more than if you never climbed up. It could be that you fall to the same level ground, but because you were high, the fall hurts more. Okay? And you could make me feel like even worse about my situation. But I thought, this was something so meaningful, so real, so inspiring, and here I am. It makes me really question, was that something real, or was it just a flash in the pan? Even my identity, which of those states do I belong to? Which of those states is really me? That high state or this low place that I know myself in? That's why the pasuk contains says, "Mi ya'aleh bar Hashem." Who can go up the mountain of God? And even if you do ascend, sometimes you have moments of elevation. And there's times when you really get fired up, you have a nitzotcha, a spark of holiness that's aroused within you, or elyon, there's light of God that pours into you. So even if you have moments like that, can you stand in God's holy place and not fall again? When you come back from the mountain, when you come back from a high experience, Can you stand on your feet? Can you find a ground to stand on and not have a fall from that elevation? You look puzzled. I don't know if you're just thinking about things or.
No, is he saying you're coming back, or is he saying Yakum being coming back? He's staying there. He's not coming
Yakum,
back, he's staying.
Af im ole shelo yipol chas v'shalom shuv. Yes, I think you're right. How can you stay there? Can you stay connected to that place? Right. Can you go to a high place and actually stay there and not just fall back? Thank you for that correction. Ki be'emet halavai rak ya'akev ha'ish la'atzmo kol nitzotzei ha'kedusha asher minotzotzim b'nafsho. The truth is, it would be so great if a person could hold on to all of the holy sparks that have been lit up within our soul, all of those moments of holiness, all of those inspirations. It would be so amazing if we could just hold on to all the moments of inspiration in our life, all the high moments. Times of a awakened will and desire, ahavav, yirah, v'tshukah, love, awe, longing. What happened to all those moments? Where did they go? If only we could hold on to all of them. If we could hold on to all those moments of our lives, it would be enough. We'd have enough to be able to always connect to God through avodah, connect to God. You wouldn't have to run around all the time looking for a new piece of advice, a new pathway, a new yoga pose. How to get yourself woken up and turn on to God. We wouldn't need all these books telling us how to do that. We've had enough experiences, enough tastes. The main thing that's missing here is that very quickly that fire and that spark that was lit inside of us, it fizzles out, it burns out. We can get to a point even sometimes where we feel those things, we experience those things, but since they pass so quickly, it can make me feel like I'm not even a person of hargasha v'nitzot tov, of this kind of holy feeling or spark of goodness. It's not even part of me. I don't really belong to that. That doesn't belong to me. Because the flame went out before they became known in the person's own body. Really deep, just that last word. Now, he doesn't focus the rest of the Torah from what I remember on the body so much, what we saw in a piece of Parshat Noach of allowing those experiences of holiness to really penetrate your body, encompass your body, feel it in your limbs. So you had some kind of lift and it was gone. It didn't become known in your body. It didn't become something that was absorbed into your being. So why do we feel this way? Why do we get to this place where we feel like I may encounter things that are holy, but I know that I'm not really holy? Or we get to the place even that when I encounter things that are holy, because of what happens afterwards, I feel even less holy than that. There's a big reason that we can't just hold on to those moments, right? Person doesn't even know what a holy spark within them is. We don't know how to recognize it. We don't know how to recognize what's holy inside. Ki al pirov ba b'libo min da'aga al matzavo hanamuch. A lot of the time, maybe you'll feel in your heart a kind of worry or concern about your low state. I'm not holding in such a high place. I'm in a low spiritual place. Ve'eno choshev sheda'aga azu min hitkalut k'toshahi. When I have a feeling of worry or concern over where I'm at, I don't think for a moment that worry itself is revealing something holy to me. Right? I think of it's the opposite, because I'm looking from the outside of myself at how not holy I am. When I feel not holy, I don't realize that feeling itself is a kind of revelation. Okay. Who here is holding the Leonard Cohen? You're not feeling something, you're loneliness. I'll have to look it up for next week. It's reminding me of something I don't remember. Go figure that out. But
Correct.
it's a different song though. Sisters of Mercy. Anyway, I don't think that perspective actually is something revelatory. Let me give you an example of a poor person. When a poor person realizes that they really have no money and they start to get worried about it, nobody in their right mind would say, "Oh, you're worried that you don't have money? Psst, it means you're so rich." That'd be ridiculous. The same is true of a person who's worried about the poverty of their soul. It's destruction. It's alienation. How could you possibly think that this kind of awareness about yourself is hitgalut shaktusha, is a revelation of holiness? Makes no sense, right? So when we have those kinds of feelings about ourselves, what do? We shut down. Yoshev domem. I sit there like a stone. Person could even begin to feel despair from this. So, I'm just so messed up already. By this point, rabu gamai. I've messed up so many things. I'm missing so much. My entire being, my entire situation is just coarse. I'm so messed up that even me, who's drowning it into my neck, even I can see it. If I live even 100 years, if I live another 100 years, would that even be enough for me to rise up out of this filth and touch even the bottommost piece of holiness? So this is all the inner dialogue, right? The inner monologue, really. Below yeda, but we don't know, what we're not aware of. Shegam da'agazu shviat halev zeh, this da'agah, this worry, this kind of concern, this broken heart, it itself is a kind of elevation. The person is worried. Is it possible in the whole rest of the years I have left on this world to touch the lowermost edge of holiness? That's what I'm conscious of, right? That's what I'm worried about. Ukvar ata. And at that very moment, Shechina Akdosha b'tocho. The Holy Shechina is within the person in that moment. Akivyachol ochez bevigdo. This is a beautiful name for God. Akivyachol. As if. We don't have any good English for this. Akiv Yachol, meaning the one that if you could talk about, this is how you might talk about. Akiv Yachol. The Akiv Yachol is grabbing you by your collar, grabbing the vigdo in your garment. Penalakudi does milashon boged. Behapagam be'atzmo. I'm going to read in Hebrew and then do over it. Uvida agato al mimichutzo rachmanu litzlanu chez Hashem ve'omer lo chazor b'cha. First he says, God is grabbing you by your clothes. And he says, clothes, beged. It's milashon boged. The boged? A traitor. Betrayal. Treachery. I believe there's a midrash on Parshat Todot when Yitzchak smells Yaakov's clothes, vayarech bivkadav. I think the midrash says, bevigdo, bibagdo, that Yitzchak whiffed his treachery, his trick. But what's the beged boged mean? A beged is what encloses you. But when a beged is a boged, it means that it's showing the opposite of what's really there. So we're wearing these clothes that are inside out clothes. We're in a state, we're in an awareness and a consciousness. That's what's enclothing us. And everything we're experiencing, it's 180 degrees of what's underneath it. But that's what we see. Right? We just see how we think about it. I feel how messed up I am, how rotten I am, how low I am, how unable to transcend my state I am. And he's saying, in that feeling, underneath it, God is grabbing you. The hapgam be'atzmo, in that very feeling of being damaged goods. God is holding on to you in your worry and saying, Chazor b'cha, return. Return. Chazor b'cha al medayek, in the Rebbe, we'll see he's borrowing this lashon from the Gemara, but Chazor b'cha means return within yourself. Turn it around. Go inside and turn around. Chazor b'cha. Okay, just on the simple level means do tshuva. It means right now you are in the perfect place. Right now is your chance. This is you beginning to do tshuva. You've opened the door for tshuva. Because you're feeling this way. Because you're feeling I'm damaged goods. And in that moment, what is it? What can I do? What does it mean to turn that around? Is to say in that moment, if God is here with me in this feeling, if God is ochez bi, if God is grabbing onto me, I'll grab onto God. Achastiv is a lesson from Shiur, I'm not going to let go. I'll hold on to my beloved and I'm not going to let go this time. It's dabek ata b'kedushato yiparach. I'm going to hold on right and attach myself in this moment to God's holiness. Not by, going somewhere and doing something else. Like right now in that feeling, to dig deeper into it and hear that there's a voice there saying to me, hey, I'm right here. He's going to unpack this more. Okay, but in this, I can return and attach myself to Kedusha v'yakelo lashuvu litaher. It'll be easier for me in that moment to begin to do tshuva, to bring some tahara to my life, clear the air. Uva oro yitbarach esaveh elech, and God's delight, I can walk forward. Right? In the shever, in that breaking point. Not even if it's so dramatic. Just in that feeling of like, here I am again. In that, God is there holding on, saying, let's do this. There's a beautiful amirah from Nachum Chernobyl, students of Baal Shem Tov. He said, from the time of the Baal Shem Tov until the coming of Mashiach, every krechts, every sigh that a person sighs, feeling like distant from God or wanting God to come close to God, every sigh that person has in their heart is from the koch of the Baal Shem Tov. Every single sigh you can ever have. It's like a sigh is like ridiculous, right? A sigh doesn't mean that you succeed in anything. It means that you failed, right? It means that it hurts that you're not where you want to be. But the Rebbe's understood that exactly is the point where you're starting to connect to God.
It's a real place. It's not real.
And you're not ignoring the truth, and you're not running away from where you are. And you're wanting something. You're wanting something. If I just isolate the feeling is I'm a failure. But if I go deeper into it, the feeling is I want so much. I want so much to come close to it. I want so much for things to be a little bit better. I want so much to get past this thing that I keep getting caught in. So they'll be saying, get underneath the clothes, and underneath the clothes, the Shekhinah is there. The beginning point of revelation for about tshuva, for somebody who wants to return. Or in general, a person who's in a low state, where does it all begin? Where does tshuva begin? It can only start this way. It can only start this way. It says in the Gemara Sanhedrin, this is about Yeravam, King Yeravam, who the Gemara talks about him as being him and Achi Ashimoni, being the greatest Talmidei Chachamim of their generation, the prophet and the king, knowing all of Torah. And he was somebody who built a temple to worship not one golden calf, but two. He was a king of Israel. You know, he brought the split of the kingdom, part of the downfall of the people of Yeravam. Gemara says, Achazo HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yeravam bevigdo. Says that Kadosh Baruch Hu grabbed Yeravam by his clothing, by his cloak, his shirt. Amar lo chazor b'cha. And said, "You do tshuva. Chazor b'cha, come back." He's saying this is the way that tshuva. This is the beginning point of tshuva for somebody who's grown distant, or even in a particular area where I'm distant. It's only from feeling the distance that I can begin. It's only there when God is holding me. Bevigdo rak bevigdo milashon boged. By seeing that I've betrayed what I want, by seeing that I've not gotten where I want to be. That's the only place where I can begin to do tshuva from, this kind of stuff. So I just want to say on this beged boged piece. On the one hand, it's recognizing the boged is me. On the one hand, I'm boged because it's the place where I'm recognizing my pagam, my distance, what I've done to bring myself to this place. And I think the Rebbe is also saying though that bevigdo is boged also means you're seeing the wrong side of the fabric. You're only seeing all we're seeing and experiencing in this place because that is where we are. All we can really see is the backside of the clothing, is the begidah, is the clothes that are themselves. Our awareness itself in that moment is betraying the truth of what's underneath it. It's not showing us the real picture. It's showing us the opposite. It's not showing us that we're close to God. It's showing us that we're farther from God. That's the begidah, the clothes, the feeling there is betraying me too. It's tricking me on some level. It's showing me you have no chance. But this is where God is holding on to you. In the I have no chance. In that moment, at the threshold between having a chance and absolutely giving up. Rav Nachman Fruman. Again, I remember learning Likutei Moharan with Rav Menachem, famous Torah where Rabbi Nachman says, "Ein shum yesh b'olam klal." Right? There's no despair in this world. So Rav Menachem said, only somebody who's given up can say there's no such thing as giving up. If you didn't get to this place, you can't really tell somebody else that there's hope when you get that place. Like I said before, many times, all we get is this daga, is this like worried feeling below tshuva, but not tshuva, just the feeling of ugh. It's not that you get motivated, will to start doing tshuva on everything that's damaged on how low I am. Rak daga greda, I just feel worried. I just feel bad about my state. I see my impoverished spiritual state. V'adraba. It's not just that I don't do tshuva. All I'm doing is sitting there crying over my state and of the loss that I've lost. I'm not fixing anything. Sometimes that, and so the Rebbe is saying sometimes we just stay there. Lefidato. Because in my mind, right, the Gemara says, "Ein ani ela b'dat." You're talking about ani nafsho, the poverty of my soul. Poverty, the Gemara says, is a product of our awareness. The Rebbe says, "Lefidato," based on how I can perceive myself right now, all I can do is cry over the fact that I'm lost. I'm in this low and weak place of body and soul. But God is holding on to that, to my garment there, right? To that feeling, to that vision. while I'm so far away from Tshuva, ve'omer lo ba'ina. And I say in that state, I don't want to do it. I don't have the energy to try anymore. Right? That was lo ba'ina is the answer Yeravam gave in the Gemara. It's a famous Gemara that God said to Yeravam, you can do Tshuva. Me and you and David Melech are going to go for a walk together. And Yeravam said, who's going to walk in front? And Hashem said, David's going to walk in front. And Yeravam said, lo ba'ina, I'm not coming. Or like Datan Vavira in Korach's rebellion against Moshe said, Lo na'aleh. Rashi says that they're actually telling over exactly, we're not going to get out of it. We hit this point and we're not going anywhere. So the Rebbe is describing that we can stay stuck in the beged. We can stay stuck in that impoverished perspective. In the perspective of all I can really be aware of is my pegamim. All I can really be aware of is what's wrong with me. I can't see or hear that there's something holy in that, beneath that, on the other side of the shirt. Let's read it out now more, because the Rebbe is going to explain why it is so hard to see through it. Why can't I see through that feeling, that perspective?
Beged is quite a strange notion.
Yeah.
Like Hashem's not grabbing onto the essence of the person who's saying, no, you're pure inside.
Mm-hmm.
Hashem's not grabbing onto the good part of the person that's always pure.
Mm-hmm.
Hashem's grabbing onto the beged, the kind of the becomes that.
Yes. But what I think the Rebbe is going to flesh out for us more is we also have to get out of the binary mentality that I'm good over here and I'm bad over here. That my good and my bad, my osher, my oni, are separate, like split parts of myself, like the spiritual schizophrenia. You know, that's what he's describing, the spiritual schizophrenia. I had an amazing tefillah 4 months ago, and now I can't even have the energy to wake up in the morning and open a siddur. I'm not that thing. Am I this thing? Am I that thing? The beged, my soul is one. I have one soul, and the soul comes from Source and God. The beged is the way that the soul is receiving godliness at any moment, and that's going to change based on what's my perspective and mentality. What's my dot? What am I aware of? How deeply am I aware? Am I only aware of from that limited perspective? And that's what I'm going to see. That's my beged. I'm preempting where we're going to go. He's going to say it much more eloquently than me. But if all I can relate to or perceive in terms of myself is my poverty of body and soul, my weakness, then that's the only place God's going to be able to communicate to me. Let's read what the Rebbe says, because he's going to say it. He's going to say it much better than me. Okay? Ki lemashal, im medaber ish el chavero. If I'm talking to you, you're talking to me. Al shomim kol acher. You hear somebody else's voice, right? Kol hamedaber velo kol hashomea. The person listening hears the voice of the person speaking. Because the voice is coming from outside of me, from the person who's speaking to me. So I hear a voice from outside of myself. This isn't what happens when a prophet receives revelation. Revelation stems from within the prophet's own insides as well. The prophet's spirit is attached to a godly spirit. God reveals the message. God is being revealed through the prophet in prophecy. Okay, the Rebbe's giving us a window, a definition here into what happens when a prophet experiences prophecy. It's not just like you're walking down the street all of a sudden, like, oh, like you see a movie, or like, you know, sound system, God's like talking to you, and this outside, he's saying it's not an outside experience. It's a revelation through the Navi. From within the Navi to the Navi's consciousness, but not from outside. It's not like somebody talking to you from it says, it says at Matan Torah, Moshe Yedaber ve'Elokim Yanenu B'Kol. Moshe spoke, and God responded with voice. The Gemara says, Darshu Chazal, what voice? B'Kolo Shel Moshe. This is the Gemara in Brachot. Matan Torah. Moshe is speaking to the people, and God is responding, is communicating B'Kolo Shel Moshe, through Moshe's voice. It's a hard thing to chop. It's a hard thing to fathom because it so like breaks the thing that the paradigm of what we think about Matan Torah, about revelation, about prophecy. Who was with us a couple of weeks ago when we talked about Matan Torah as being Am Yisrael themselves turning into the letters of revelation of the Torah, and all the people together seeing this is the Torah because the letters just illuminated through their souls, and that was the terrifying experience there. So here too, the prophecy of Matan Torah was not Moshe's up in the mountain, the people are over there, and God is talking over there. But Moshe medaber ve'Elokim yanenu b'kol, or as Chazal says, the Shekhinah medaberet mitoch rono shel Moshe, that the Shekhinah is speaking from Moshe's throat. This is prophecy. Prophecy is a person being God's loudspeaker. Okay? Kevan shemipnimiuto ba'ayit galut. From within the prophet, the revelation is coming. It's coursing through. Shenitlabesh kol shel mala b'kolo shel Moshe. The voice from above is being enclosed. We're getting to the Beged, right? It's being enclosed in Moshe's voice. That's what happens with prophecy. That's the clear kind of godly revelation, right? Till now we've been talking about a not clear revelation. It doesn't look like God is talking to me, right? In the worry, in the broken feelings. When it's clear, this is how prophecy works.
But even in this clear version, it's not clear in the way that we might imagine, right? So if you're standing listening to prophecy in the voice of Moshe, what to say that that's different than hearing the voice of Moshe? It is still
right. Well, what you're saying is I mean, it's making me think of this amazing lashon of Chazal that every prophet had prophecy about aspaklaria she'ena me'ira through a reflective lens, a mirror that's not fully shining, but Moshe's prophecy was through a fully shining mirror. That I think just on a visceral level, when somebody's communicating something real to other people, we feel it. When they're speaking to us from a real place, we feel it. When they're speaking to us from a godly place, we feel it. And I wonder, as if in this perspective of prophecy, if that aspakularia, that lens, it's not only what the prophet receives. That Moshe's prophecy was clearer than other prophets in terms of what he comprehended, which it was. Moshe gave us mitzvot for prophecy. Other prophets tell us visions and messages, but Moshe's like, do this. Stay away from this. If this happens, here's how you have to respond, right? Moshe gave us a whole articulate framework, but I wonder if the lens too is how it's communicated out. If it's like when you hear Moshe speaking, when you hear God speaking through Moshe, like it's clear. There's no dimness in the voice. You don't see like, oh well, yeah, but it's like his hair's out of place and he's just a guy like talking and he's really smart, but like that place of denial maybe doesn't have a place when it's Moshe speaking. I'm wondering, anyway. So. Aval, the Rebbe is answering you too. We're not talking about Moshe Rabbeinu's prophecy now. That's not what we're concerned with, really. Ki mi yisiguhu? Who has any clue what that's really like? Rak b'nitzot hitgalut shel Yisrael she'enu navi. We're talking about a spark of revelation within a Jew who's not a prophet. V'rak nitzot shel nitzot, even just a spark, a glimmer of a glimmer. He'ara de'hara zoreach alav b'mochav libo. There's a glimmer of a glimmer that's shining in your mind and your heart and your consciousness. Since this revelation, this message, it's coming to you from within you, through your mind and heart, all you can see when that is coming through you is your own thoughts and the feelings that your heart knows. It's my thoughts and feelings presenting themselves to me, showing themselves to me. They are enclothing the message from God. I'm going to take this away from his language and just talk outside for a moment. This is something we've seen in a few of Rebbe's Torah so far, that my ritzonot, my desires to come close to God, my midot, the capacity I have to feel, to want, to love, to have awe, all those things in God. As if God is always communicating to me through me. But the words, the message of the communication is only going to reach me through my own vessels. Like I'm providing the materials and God is giving me a message. And if my materials are broken, so God is going to be talking to me through brokenness. That's the whole thing of self-refinement. The whole thing of refining myself is to be able to hear God's voice more clearly. For it to appear, show itself to me in a way that's more direct, a bit closer, with a little less of the bogey. It's not a betrayed message. It's not a message enclosed in its opposite. But if that's where I'm at, that's the only way I'm going to hear. Right? That's what the Rebbe said before. The only way I can begin to do tshuva is I'm only going to hear it from a realization of being distant, being low. I mean, beneath even just feeling low is a perspective of some other possibility, right? Like, I wouldn't be concerned over my state if I didn't have an aspiration or feeling of belonging to something greater. You know what I'm saying? It's like if I'm already resigned and accepted the fact that I'm just this, so like I won't have anything to feel bad about or guilty about. It's like, yeah, that's all. But it's so hard for us to get past the negative feeling, the negative perspective of not being close, not being holy, not being good, whole, healthy, accepted, whatever it is.
It's the difference between do two out of shiur.
Mm-hmm. Sealed heart or a broken heart.
Yeah.
Broken nose can also be broken open. But I might just feel broken.
But at least there's a space.
Right. So he's saying that there's in any of those kinds of ritzonot, in any of those kinds of thoughts and feelings, there's a nitzot to nitzot, the ha'ara. There's some kind of inaudible whisper of the Shekhinah speaking within me. Saying, do this. I'm right here. Connect to me. Or even, we are connected. I can hear that. Kmo chalom. It's like a dream. Gemara says, "She'ein marim lo la'adam ela mihu hurei libo." But all you're shown in your dream is visions and images from hiu hurei libo. The kinds of thoughts, the innermost thoughts of your heart appear to you in your dream. But ein marim lo ela mihu hurei libo means you don't get images in your dream that don't come from those inner thinkings of yours. That's, it's like if God is the artist, we're giving God the palette and the paint colors to use. And it's like, here are the pictures you have to work with. Give me a message. And the message is going to be based on what we give, what we have to give, who we are in that moment, what we are in that moment. Umikol makom, even though in the dream all I see is images, projections of my innermost thoughts. There's times when there's a prophetic spirit in my dreams. So the Gemara explains, this is, by the way, he doesn't quote the line right before, but this Gemara is beautiful. There's a Yirmiyahu, God says to Yirmiyahu something like, tell me about the prophecy that you're receiving, speak it out to me. The grain and the straw, the chaff, and it's like that's like what God says to Yirmiyahu. Like, where I was like, what does a prophecy have to do with a grain and a straw? Like, where does that come from? Just saying, there's always going to be chaff and the grain. Just like you can never harvest your wheat and not have any weeds, no straw, no chaff mixed in there. It's never just the thing itself. You're never going to have a dream that doesn't have nonsense in it too. Shalom, shalom. There's never going to be a dream that doesn't have also just like because the kalim, the messages of the dream, the images are all coming from you who already be. They're just like whatever it is that's going on inside of me. That's what I'm going to see pictures of. That's what I'm going to get images of. That's what I'm going to get communications of. מקווה שאנגלית זה בסדר. כן, בסדר. וצריכים לפותרו. So it's upon us to unpack the dream. Right, to get to the bottom of it. להסיר את התבן. To remove the chaff, remove the straw. ואת הציורים שבאים ממראיותיו של עצמו, and to take away all those images and thoughts that are just coming from me, ולהבין את רוח הנבואה שבהם, and to get underneath it, to understand the ruach hanevua shebahem. There's a prophetic spirit that was coming into me that I translated into those pictures. But I can't just look at, if I just look at the pictures, that's all I'm going to see. Just nonsense.
It's like it was embedded.
Right. Enclosed, right? I have to take off those clothing, the clothing that my mind gives the ruach nevuah. Shehamid et rayonotav u'machshavotav opens it dafka. And the ruach nevuah inside of me, it specifically puts together those kinds of images in my mind. I have to get deeper into it and understand what's behind, what's beneath all those images. Don't try to interpret the images. Get to what's behind them. Get to what's beneath them. Get to what the inner meaning that Hashem's ruach entered into me, and that's the picture I put up. I think I'm going to skip the next paragraph. We could do it, but it's just I'll just say outside what he does is he gives an example of this in the way that Yosef interprets Paro's dreams. And that Yosef, from the way he darshans the Psukim, Yosef basically separates out Paro's dreams. These are the pictures that are just your thinking, and this is what God was saying to you. Right? He separates it out. Separate out the straw from the grain. So this is about dreams, but it's not just about dreams. This is about the kinds of inner thoughts and feelings that I experience. The perspectives that I have about my own state. Those too, just like a dream, they're just filled with my own kinds of images and ideas and concepts and feelings. And I have to get underneath those things, from the boged into the beged and underneath it, to what's really touching me, what's really speaking inside of me. Nimtza. You guys have the paragraph? Nimtza, שההתגלות הבאה בפנימיות האדם נראה לו ברעיונותיו. The revelation that comes from within a person appears to us in our thoughts. I mean, just like simply stated, where does a thought come from? Well, it just come from nowhere, right? So the Rebbe is saying our soul is connected to God. We're always being given life, consciousness, connection, communication. The way that I'm hearing those messages is going to be determined by the thoughts that are there. But it's a hitgalut, haba mipnimiyut, mipnimiyuto shel adam. It's a revelation from within you. וכיוון שהאדם המתחיל לשוב עודו שקוע כל היום בשטותים והבלים, הפך רצון השם. So since a person who is in the beginning of a path to return to God is still sunk in the whole day in shtutim and havalim, I spend most of my day with like nonsense. Choose your kind of nonsense. I know my kind of nonsense. Hefech Ratzon Hashem. I'm not like in there doing Ratzon Hashem all the time. Lachen et nitzot hit'orut elyon yachohu lirot shuv rak b'rayonotav. That spark, that smallest glimmer of an awakening from above, I can only see it in the forms of my own thoughts. Shtutim mitreim lefanav. I see nonsense. I feel nonsense. I hear nonsense. So, but what is the beginning point of tshuva? Is that I can see the nonsense. The beginning of tshuva, when God throws me a bone, it's when I can take a moment and say, oh my God, I'm just so sunk in DS. Just see it for what it is. I'm not like changing my life right now. I'm just noticing it. I'm aware of how low this stuff is. And all the low stuff that just kind of like really grabs me and matters to me right now. How else could you possibly see it? You can only see it through the lens of your own thoughts. And your thoughts are filled with things that are far from God. And sometimes even things that are opposite of godly ratzon. And it has to be then that your revelation and your uplifting, your elevation, it has to also come through this lavush akur, this muddied garment. Okay. יפה מאוד, יפה מאוד. We talked about this in another context of this pasuk. Right. How can I see God? I only can see God through my own being. I don't get a view. We heard the Rebbe talking last week in a much more positive way, like finding God within. Right? Finding God within. And part of that also means like, this is the way that I can connect to God, through my own experience, through my own knowing, through my own thinking, through my own feelings, through what I know. For me to move forward, it's going to come from where I'm at.
It has to, because, like you said earlier, he was teaching, it comes from within. It doesn't.
Right.
We're not importing it from outside of us.
So on the one hand, it feels, I don't know how you guys feel so far about this, like if you feel like kind of pounded by the Rebbe and like knocked to the ground, or if you feel like, because to me part of it is also the Rebbe saying in such a powerful way too, it's not going to come from anywhere else. That the Rebbe you want to find, it's the same message that you want to find God, it's going to come through you. Hashem medaber elecha mitochacha, lo mibachutz. It's incredibly empowering too. It's like you might be in the lowest place, and in the lowest place, when you start to feel that, it means that the door is beginning to open. It means you're being invited. It means you're being invited in. You're beginning to hear Hashem talk to you. But it sounds backwards, right? Yeah, it sounds backwards because that's where we are now. But it doesn't mean that it's not the Shekhinah talking to us. And if we even go around not only filling our minds with shtutim and things that aren't Ratzon Hashem, but we actually are also actively in our actions involved in things that are opposing Hashem Ratzon. So we also get opposition towards us too. I mean, God's going to talk to me the way I talk to God. There's going to be outside for if I'm also doing things actively that are against Hashem's Ratzon, I'm going to also get God talking to me through active things that are that are pushing me away, not just my feelings about my low state.
בקיצור, invite them, ומתנגדים
כן.
from the outside.
Okay? As a response to what I'm doing. והיה אם יודע האיש גם מרירות הזאת והראות פגמיו ודאגה זו התערותא דלעילא היא. If a person can recognize and realize that this bitter feeling, this appearance of my pagamim, of the things that I've done wrong or that it's damaged, and this kind of worry about myself, if I can recognize it as itaruta de la'ela, this is what inspiration from above looks like. Like Hashem grabbing Yeravam and saying, do tshuva. And a person can strengthen themselves then in that, from that knowledge. With the God that is within me right now, I can begin to return and make myself holy. I'm going to hold on just as strong and not let go. Then you can take a step beyond where you are. Then you can begin on a path of holiness. But if not, you can fall really hard, right? How can I not just go up and down, up and down, up and down, up for a moment and then fall to the ground? If I'm not able to use those moments of a broken heart, of bitterness, of feeling, of recognizing my pagamim, if I'm not able to use those moments to recognize that Hashem is really close to me then, and that's a way for me to drag myself a little bit closer, then it's going to bring me down. It is going to bring me down. I'm going to feel worse. I'm just going to feel worse about myself and continue in that path. We said earlier. This is what it is. Who can go up the mountain? And even if you don't go up the mountain, but just in the place that you are right now, not in a high place, where you are right now, that's where Hashem's showing something to you. Al kol panim, at the very least, yakum bimkum kodsho, you can stand in your holiness. Shebimkomo shenimtza yishe'er makom kadosh, that in the place that you are right now, it can remain holy. Ground's not going to open up beneath you and swallow you. Right? How do you give yourself chizuk? How do you support yourself when you're feeling broken? How do you stop yourself from falling? It's not by ignoring it. It's not by giving up on it either, right? Then most of our responses to feeling this kind of like it's an uncomfortable feeling. Let's put it that way. To see ourselves this way, it's uncomfortable. And a lot of our inclination is either I'm just going to give up on the whole thing. So I'll try to push away. Maybe it won't bother me so much if I just stop altogether caring about this stuff. That's one kind of extreme reaction. But I think the more common reaction is I'm just going to go on and ignore it and hope that it goes away. I'll say it outside. I'd like to look at it inside with you at some point. Rebbe speaks about it in some of his other Sfarim, that there's times when I feel some kind of discomfort. It could be body discomfort, it could be emotional discomfort, it could be something just off, and it's because my soul is trying to say something to me. And what do? I go have some pizza, go have a drink, I turn on a game, I start making jokes with my family and friends. And the Rebbe is saying, you know what? That's your opportunity. Hold on to it. Sit with that feeling. Let it talk to you from a deeper place, from a deeper place. Don't just brush off. And don't give up on yourself either. B'sifrei, I'm going to read, we'll get through the next paragraph. B'sifrei, Kvod Kadoshi, Avi, Mori, etc. He's quoting his father. Ita. Eich shebachol ish Yisrael mitorer b'chol yom hirot tshuva. In each and every Jew, every day there's a hirot tshuva that's awakened. There's some kind of inner stirring of wanting to come close to God, wanting to connect to God. It says in Pirkei Avot That Har Sinai is still transmitting a message every single day. There's a voice coming from Har Sinai. The Baal Shem Tov said that's the voice inside of the heart that wants to connect to God every day.
אז מה, זה כל הזמן הדיליי ונפח, זה שצועק, בעצם אני שלנו הוא די מינורי.
מה?
מינורי, לא...
מינורי.
לא, אני אומר, מה שאימננטית כל הזמן צועק זה המדיליי ונפח.
כן, כן.
האלוקות שבתוכנו היא... מה שאנחנו רוצים שזה אנחנו, זה אפילו לא אפיזודה.
או שאנחנו מין... we're a ramko. I'm a ramko. I'm just a speaker. I'm a sounding board. You said earlier, I think you said b'sariach ze eloha, right? Basar, flesh. There's another word, but I was saying, there's another word, there's another meaning of the word basar, besorah. Besorah means a message, something that carries messages. Flesh is the same word of him that carries a message. So either I just walk around like defining myself, I begin and end here, or I recognize I'm part of an entire movement from the source of all being to my skin cells. And there's a sounding board here. There's a sounding board here.
It's two different.
At least two. Let's read this paragraph, okay? And I know that you're going to have to listen. So. His father teaches, what I need to do, so God's sending me a message every day, a desire every day to come close. This is Har Sinai speaking in my heart every day. What's my job is to not let it pass away, larik, to be empty, to get wasted. Use it, do a mitzvah. Do something. You feel a little bit of an awakening, a desire, wanting to connection, do something holy with it. And us in this generation, who are descending to the heels of Mashiach. Descending to the heels of Mashiach, to the bottommost place. We, in this generation, we need to find God in the depths. In places even lower. It says in Gemara, every place that Am Yisrael was exiled to, the Shekhinah is with them. As a generation, as a world, we're in a spiritual exile. What that means is that we're being pushed further and further and further into a world that feels distant from God. We're reaching it's like the bottom of the feet. And so our job is to find God in a deeper place than could ever be found before, in a lower place than could be found. So he quotes his father saying, "Shehiror tshuva sheba b'lev Yisrael hitorut el yonu." The desire to connect in your heart that comes to you, it's an awakening from above. V'anu tzrichim limtzo she'af terem hitoreh bo hiror tshuva. What we need to do is to find, even before I begin the hiror tshuva, before I consciously want to come close to God, before that's the motivation that I'm feeling. And in the moment when all I'm seeing is my chesronot, all I'm seeing is where I'm off, right? The low places, the depths, all I'm seeing is what's missing. Adrabah. Riyah kazo asher aluhu lipoli de yerush chas v'shalom. It's a place that could potentially even bring me to just total despair. If I don't know how to say in that moment, I'm going to hold on and not let go. Right? It can bring me to despair if I don't have the consciousness to say, seeing my chesronot does not mean that I'm chaser. That's all I am. Seeing my damages, my pgamim, doesn't mean I'm damaged goods. It means that in order for me to return to God, I have to start here. If I can't make that switch in my consciousness, if I can't see more deeply into the feeling and thoughts that are going through me, so then that can bring me to despair. Gamkin hitorut el yonhu. That feeling I have to understand as a hitorut el yon. Riyat chesronotav. God's showing me my chesronot. That's hitorut aliyah. That's what it means to be awoken from above in the Shem. That's what it means for God to speak from within me, in my state, is to show me like, hey, this is off. The Ruach HaKodesh nimshach lo ad halom. It means also that Ruach HaKodesh is drawn into me all the way to there. Meaning God's not only going to meet me where I'm holy. It's not just me who's in the heels. God is going to the heels. The Shekhinah needs to be fully manifested for this world to reach its purpose. So we need to go to the lower place that wasn't reached before. And God's going to talk to me in the lower place too. Ad halom. I'm going to talk to you all the way there. The place where you think that you've lost me. That's how I'm talking to you. I'm there with you.
שזה the most בראשית, the most grounded
נכון.
point.
I touched it. Thank you. We're going to wrap up here. איך קוראים לך?
לי קוראים אמנון.
אמנון, שלום.
אמנון.
Shabbat. We have a command from Reb Judy to sing after every shiur. She told me that we need to end by dance. מפיאסצנה.
לא.
הרבי מפיאסצנה.
מפיאסצנה, כן, בטח. אז זה האדמו"ר מפיאסצנה.
כל יום ראשון 8:15.
אתה מלמד איך קראו לו לפיאסצנה?
רב קולונוס קלמיש שפירא. האש קודש.
האש קודש.
חובת התלמידים.
פירוש שלו על התורה זה האש קודש?
כן, גטו ורשה, שהוא דרש, גטו ורשה. זה מלפני, זה מאירופה מלפני המלחמה, זה משנת...
אז למי הוא מתייחס? למי השילוח?
לא, פיאסצנה זה השתלשלות מקוז'ניץ.
המגיד,
מקוז'ניץ, כן, עבודת ישראל, והוא גם...
הוא היה מאוד מצחיק, היה לו חוש הומור נפלא, זה המגיד מגוז'ניץ.
פיאסצנה מכל צדדיו, I'll say it in English. He's descended from the Chozeh Medublin, from Rabbi Melech Milizhens, from the Kozhnitzer Magid, from the Or Bashemesh. His name, so he's got Chassidut like in his DNA.
אתה יודע שהוא היה כמו נכה.
The Kozhnitzer, yes.
כן, הוא היה...
Yeah, he was very weak in his body.
Yeah, but when he prayed, he was like אריה. ככה אני קראתי באור הגנוז עליו. אני זוכר שיש לו חוש הומור יוצא מכלל, אז קולונימוס בן שפירא,
קולונימוס קלמן שפירא, כן.
קולונימוס קלמן שפירא, זה
הוא נקרא על שם שמור השמש.
זייד השמש, כן, כן, והוא נספה בשואה, נרצח בשואה.
כן, והוא טמן את כתביו, טמן אותם באדמה.
כן? אז איך יש לנו את זה?
טמן.
זה לא הצליח לו, ברוך השם.
נכון. אבל צריך חייבים לשיר. אשרינו מה טובנו, מה נעים גורלנו, אשרינו מה טוב חלקנו, מה נעים